On. Hello, everybody. We are going live on Facebook. I have two amazing coaches with me, Coach Kim Kenny and Coach Jordan Kilpatrick Smith.
Hello. Yeah, two of them.
Yeah, Kilpatrick Smith. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to have these amazing people on today is because I'm really impressed by their journey. And I know that there are so many people, it's the new year, we're bombarded with like healthy weight loss and goal setting and all of this stuff. And I know when we hear those things, we want to just like, if we need this in our life, we're going to want to tune out. If we already have it in our life, we go even more gung-ho. So there's like a limiting belief that stops us from really looking at ourselves and looking at our lives. So I just want you, before we get into the nitty gritty, just tell us who you are and a little bit about like your story, your journey. So Kim, I see you first. So how about if you start off first?
All right.
A little bit about what you've actually just created in your life.
Oh, I'm 5 feet tall, and at my highest weight, I was 330 pounds. So I was as big around as I am tall. And it didn't happen really quickly. I was very tiny as a teenager. The weight just kept gradually coming on. And I would try different diets and nothing really stuck. I would get bored of it, or it was too hard. It was too restrictive. And then it's almost 4 years ago now, I ended up in the hospital. I was having trouble breathing. My oxygen levels were at 60%. I was put on BiPAP. I was in the ICU for 10 days. My kids, like, they were calling everybody because I didn't know how bad it was, but they did. Like, I was told, had I waited till the next day to go in, I would have been intubated. So it was pretty rough. And my one son came in and he sat beside my bed. He never said a word because I was in and out. And he just sat there. And I mean, he's not that type of kid. He's not a kid anymore, but that was the wake up call for me. And I realized it was time to get my act together and find something that worked for me. I also had a grandson that was due that year. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to be as involved actively in his life as I wanted to be if I couldn't get the weight off. So that started my journey. And
isn't that what happens? We almost have to be on our deathbed to take action in our life. Something has to shake us and wake us up before we take action.
Yeah, because 2 years previous to that, I've been diagnosed with osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. All of those things weren't enough. And it took 2 more years and gaining more weight.
Yeah. And now, what are the results that you're getting in your life? Like, you made that decision, you declared this is a priority. And that's the only way we get results. We have to say to ourselves, this is so important to me that I'm going to do anything to get results. And what results have you gotten in your life?
Oh my gosh. We've been talking about this a lot over the last month. Comparing this Christmas even to last Christmas and the things I've been able to do. I've lost 84 pounds. I'm not at my goal, but I'm almost halfway there. But the things that have changed, I was on $200 worth of medication every single month. I'm no longer on medication. All my health issues are under control. The pain from my fibromyalgia, I'd say, is probably 80% gone. I still have pain here and there, but mostly if I push myself too far, which I'm absolutely able to do now, and I couldn't do a year ago. My grandson is now 3.5, and I also have a 2.5-year-old grandson and a 10-month-old granddaughter. So I watch them once a week, and I'm able to play with them and spend the whole day with them and climb the stairs without getting out of breath. I'm happier. My confidence has increased. I feel better in the way I dress. in the way that the way I am with everybody. Like I thought it was all about the weight, but I realized as time went on, it was so much more than the weight. It was getting back my life.
Mm-hmm. So amazing. And now you are a certified life coach and a health coach.
Yes.
And who do you work with? I know everybody says, like, who's your target niche? Like, who do you help? Who do you think is your ideal client? Who do you work with?
I work predominantly with women. I've had a couple of men who have been in my group, but I just resonate with women, and women who have been on the same type of journey where they've tried different diets and nothing's worked or nothing's been able to stick, that they've got bored of it or it's too hard or they feel restricted and deprived. So basically women who are just fed up with being deprived and fed up with the dieting. And then I help them learn how to ditch the diet mentality so they can eat what they want and still lose weight.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing. It's so remarkable, right? Because I think a lot of people have this limiting belief that you hit it on the head. It's going to be too hard. Like I have almost 200 pounds to lose. How am I going to do this? We get so caught up on the how instead of the feeling. How are we going to feel when we lose 100 pounds? When we lose 50 pounds? When we lose 200 pounds? Yes, is it going to be work? Yeah. Is it worth it, Kim?
Absolutely. 100%. And it's just one more thing. Like you said, 200 pounds is a lot to lose. But when you can celebrate the journey all along the way, and when you start feeling better, like I still have almost half of my goal left to go, but I feel so much better. So don't get wrapped up around the number, but enjoy the journey along the way.
Oh, thank you. Such a good message and such a positive belief, right? It's the journey. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
So great. Now, Jordan, thank you for being so patient and sitting there. You're like, okay,
I'm loving it.
I'm a young man. You're also a certified health coach. Now, tell us who you are and what you're about and what you're creating in your job, in your life, in your business.
So first thing, Kim, like, well done, because holy crap. I'm inspired. I don't have weight to lose, and I'm inspired. So
thank you.
That's amazing. My name's Jordan. I used to be a personal trainer and a registered kinesiologist, and I got to the point where people would come into the gym and they wanted to lose weight, and it was like, go to Jordan. And the reason is that I started to look at things with more clarity than I think other people look at the whole weight situation as. And I realized that weight is really just a symptom. Weight is not the issue itself. It's a symptom of something else that's going on and how we are dealing with whatever it is that's going on. And so in my kinesiology degree, this one here, we learned all about obesity and diabetes and heart disease and how it's this ever-growing epidemic. And yet there's so much research, so why aren't you fixing it? And I thought, well, we're approaching it wrong, and that's why. So I set out on this journey to come up with this method to help people change. And that's how I came across coaching. So what I do is I run one-on-one personalized weight loss programs for people. Because it all starts in the mind. It all starts with mindset, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so incredible. And I really love, like, you know, how I kind of see our life as a puzzle, and there's all these pieces. You know, I'm a personal trainer. I got my degree in kinesiology. You know, I'm helping people, and I'm seeing that, okay, wait a minute, there's something that we're missing. Mm-hmm. It's never the problem. People are looking for like a feeling, an emotion that's missing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And Kim, you discovered that too. It's, oh my gosh, like I actually am powerful in my life. I have control over food, and food doesn't have control over me. And I get to eat what I damn well please. I'm just really conscious about it.
Yeah.
You know? And I know that in order to get results in our life, we have to make it a priority. So how do you guys really create that with your clients of shifting from like, oh, it's too scary to this is a priority?
Who do you want first?
Oh, sure, Jordan. If you have an answer, go ahead. Jump in, whoever wants to.
It's about, everything is about clarity, at least in the way I view things. Until you're clear on what's going on, you have no option to even start to address it. And so what I do is, it's really just helping people become really clear on why they're not dealing with it yet. What is the actual problem that's going on here? Because let's say you go and you say, I know how to exercise. That's not an issue for most people. Or I can go to a class, I can go to yoga, I can go to the gym or whatever it is. But then they go and then they stop. Or they start to eat healthy and then they stop. Yeah. Or they start to sleep right and then they stop. Right? Mm-hmm. So what is it that's really going on here? Because we're not addressing the real problem. Yeah. And the real problem I find is that we don't value ourselves. Ooh. Now that goes, we go like down a rabbit hole when you start to explore that, right? But yeah, if you really value yourself, it shows, right?
You know, I love that because I remember one time, you know, when I was like in the best shape of my life. I was doing so well, and I was like valuing myself and putting myself as a priority. And then something got triggered. And what got triggered was my friends, you know, were saying something along the lines of, do you always eat like that? Do you always exercise so much? Do you, you know, and then all of a sudden I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't belong. And that was enough to send me down this rabbit hole of, oh, maybe I'm selfish. Maybe I'm greedy. Maybe I'm spending too much time on myself, and that's not the right thing to do. You know, and then I just started spiraling, and I thought, okay, I'm a certified health coach too. I know what sabotage is. I know what my limiting beliefs are. Why am I not valuing myself? But underneath all of that was this fear of standing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would people think if I was really different? You know, it's a scary place to be, and people get stopped by that.
I had an issue of getting to a certain point and then I would give up. And in the last year, I realized I felt safe being the weight that I was. Because when I was smaller, when I was tiny and curvier, and well, I'm curvier now, but I mean, when I was the tiny curvy,
yeah,
men were inappropriate. And men made advances and I was molested as a teenager. And so as an adult, not realizing it, I was putting that weight on as a protection. And so whenever I would start to get to a point where I felt like I could do it, then I would sabotage myself. And it wasn't until this last year that I realized that that was the reason why I'm almost 55. I don't need to be afraid anymore. I'm not that teenage girl. So I have the strength now to stand up for myself and put people in their place. So I don't need to be afraid anymore. And that was a huge, huge mindset for me.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. It's like, okay, life happened. It's not right that it happened. It happened. Yeah. And we live in this story of what happened, and we put up all these filters and walls and protective mechanisms to keep us really safe. We're like, holy shit, this is backfiring on me.
Yes.
Being safe means like I get to be really unhealthy and have diabetes and high blood pressure and almost die. That's not very safe. It's so limiting, right? Such a limiting belief. Yeah. But thank you for sharing. You know, because I know that there are people that are experiencing the same thing, like, oh, geez, stuff happened to me too. Yeah. And I'm hiding underneath these layers. And I always say, you know, when we shed the layers, it's like the weight is the layers that the protective layers. When we shed them, we get to our authentic selves. Yeah. And it's never about the weight.
Yeah.
We get to just show up. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And it's one of the other things that shows up for a lot of people is I don't want to invest in myself. Like, I don't want to spend the money to figure out, I know how to lose weight. I
Yeah.
know how to feel great. I know I need to exercise and eat well. And yet people are just not doing it. So what do you think is the difference in your program? Like, what's missing from other programs that as health coaches we can provide to clients?
Mhm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, what?
Yeah.
What do you think
The accountability, I think, is one thing. Now, there are some programs where you have to go and meet with somebody every week, but those programs aren't tailored to your specific need. And I think that's the cool thing about health coaching. It's like my story. It wasn't really about the weight loss as much as it's been about all the changes that have come with it. So you can go on any program and lose weight, but this isn't a program. It's not a weight loss program as much as it is getting to the root of why the weight goes on, why you can't stick to a diet, why you don't feel safe unless you're heavy, all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the missing piece.
Yeah.
It's so important. Yeah. I like how you said, like, it's not just a program, right? I like to think of it like it's a partnership. Instead of it, me being like, well, I'm a healthcare professional, so I'm up here and you're down here, and I'm going to tell you what to do, and you're going to do it in success. No, we level the playing field, and it's a partnership. And I think what's really different about coaching as well is we're putting people in the driver's seat of their health. And if that means that they want to go 10 kilometers an hour, awesome. You know what? You're driving. It's not me handing you a plan saying, okay, I'm going to drive the car for you. Right? Because if I hand someone a diet plan or I hand someone an exercise plan, then as soon as that plan's gone, they can't drive.
Yep.
That's no good.
Yeah. 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 Drop the bike. Oh my God. And I know, like, when I first started coaching, I didn't really even know what a health coach was.
No, me neither.
Me neither.
Like, what do you mean? I'm going to pay somebody to tell me what I already know what to do? Why would I do that? Like, I could go on vacation instead. I could buy new shoes instead. But I remember when I invested in a program online, and literally it changed my life. It was like a 30-day plan or a 90-day plan or something like that. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was an investment. And I was just so determined, but this is my motivating factor. And I think we need to have something that motivates us. Most people are like, oh, I have a wedding coming up, or, oh, I have this coming up. I'm really motivated. Mine was, I was sitting at the table with my husband, and it was right around the new year. And I said, this was before we had kids. And I said, you know what? This is it. This is the year. I am going to get into shape. I'm going to feel great. I'm going to lose weight. And, I'm doing it. And he looked at me and, like, stone cold Steve Austin, he said, Tina, you're never going to do it. Every year, and every year you last 3 weeks and you don't do it. He's like, you don't have enough willpower. Well, that was my motivating factor, because my other thing in life is, like, I like to play, like, I'm a winner. I'm not a loser. And if you already expect me to lose, I'm going to prove that I'm going to win. So what I did was I got online. I got a program. I mean, I followed it to a T. I went to the gym 6 days a week. I didn't eat any junk food. I did everything right. I went from a size 12, 14 to a size 4 in 3 months.
Wow.
And then right after that, I gained the weight back, because the game over, I won. But then I saw this system of gain weight, lose weight for years. I'm like, wait a minute. And then when I became a certified health coach, I realized that it was sabotage. I was setting myself up to prove a story that I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
It was a limiting belief. Now I was proving I'm good enough. Wait a minute. My brain got triggered. Wait a minute. That's not your story. You're not good enough. Go back.
Yep.
So now it's funny because I started this by saying, this year I put on 15 pounds. Some people might be like, big deal, you put on 15 pounds. Other people are like, oh my gosh, how did you put on 15 pounds? Listen, I have accountability now. I have somebody that I check in with to make sure that I'm accountable for my goals, because not only do we need a system, we need accountability.
Yeah.
Somebody to give us a kick in the ass. And I'm really committed this year. I'm getting my 6-pack abs back, and I'm not making myself wrong. And I'm getting a nice booty ass. You know what?
Nice.
I know it's vain, but this is what I want.
Hell yeah.
Don't we deserve to have what we want?
Yeah. And I think we feel selfish when we go for what we want, or we feel selfish having to spend the money to invest in a program or something that will help us get to where we want to go to. I would say in the past, I know what I need to eat. I just need to do it. And it's not fair to spend our money for me to find another program that's not going to work. But that's not what it is when you hire a health coach.
No.
When you invest in a health coach, it's totally different. It changes your life.
And I think it's because when we invest in something, we're now declaring this is actually a priority.
Yes.
If I'm going to invest in something, that means it's important to me. That's the first step. Like people that I work with in supporting them in their business growth and, all of that stuff. Is it important to you? As soon as they make that payment, they're declaring, I'm invested now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when are we going to start making ourselves a priority? Right?
Yeah.
Today.
Absolutely.
Now. So
don't wait till you're in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. So I know our time is almost up, but Jordan, I didn't ask you, who are your ideal clients? Who do you work with?
There's part of me that wants to go everyone, but
Yeah.
Being realistic here, tends to be both men and women between 30 and 40. I find that's the time in life where it's added up throughout all the years, and people are finally like, holy crap, how did I get here? Right? Yeah. So typically men and women in their 30s and 40s, but I don't discriminate.
Yeah. Okay, so Kim, you work with women that are experiencing what you were, that have a lot of weight to lose, that are really stuck in their limiting beliefs, that are holding them back, that are feeling fearful that they can't do it. They're sick of diets. You help them ditch the diets.
Yeah.
And Jordan, what I'm really hearing you say is you help men and women between the ages of 30 and 40 primarily, and you just help them create a healthy lifestyle that's made really easy for them. You provide
Absolutely.
a system to help them create their goals, follow through with their goals. And I think both of you are really committed that if people want to live a really amazing life and a healthy life, you're going to give them the tools that they need to make this last forever and not a short-term fix.
Absolutely.
Like diet pills and shakes and
Oh gosh. Yeah, no.
yeah. Is there anything else you guys would like to say to people that might be watching, people that are wondering about coaching, that are sitting on the sidelines, that want to take on their health, but they're a little bit afraid? Is there anything you want to say to them to help them jump off the fence?
Everything you want is on the other side of fear.
That's good.
That's why I went skydiving last summer.
That's one of my goals.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that's why I did it. I looked at that door and I was like, everything is on the other side of that. And out I went.
So amazing.
That's great. I would say nothing has worked up until now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking into another program. And I have a number of people that I've had calls with recently because it's the new year, and I keep hearing over and over again, I've tried everything. I've tried this program, this program, this program. It doesn't work. And I would say jump into having a health coach because it's not the program. it's transforming all of you, not just your physical being, but it transforms your mind as well. And yeah, like take that step forward. I love what you said about fear and just jumping to the other side. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
amazing. Well, I want to say thank you both for being on, sharing your story, sharing who you help and who you serve. And I know that there are people that are sitting there saying like, okay, is this for me? Is this something? And I just want to encourage everybody that's watching right now, that's sitting on the fence in their life. You know, if there's something that's not working or working as well as you would like it to, ask yourself this. What is going to change the results in your life? What are you going to do to get new results? What new actions that can you take? And if you're not sure, but you know that you want to create this result and you connected with Kim or you connected with Jordan, I encourage you to reach out to them and have a conversation. I know Kim and Jordan personally, and I know that in one coaching call with them, you may have a breakthrough that you need. You might discover something that's stopping you or getting in your way, and they're going to help you get that out of the way right away. So thank you so much, Kim and Jordan, for being here. Thank you for those of you that are watching. And if you're still on this call and you're still watching, it's because you are really sitting on the fence and you want somebody to push you off. So just reach out to them. And Happy New Year. And I guess that's it for now. Signing off.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.